It's time to talk to the most legendary coach in the game, and that is Coach Kim Mulkey. Coach Mulkey, what is going on? How we doing here on this Tuesday morning?
Well, all is well. I hope y'all are doing good. I don't like cold weather, but we'll deal with it.
Blame the groundhog, Coach. You know, Phil showed up, said 6 more weeks of winter, and here we are, Arctic freeze incoming.
You're right, and I guess it's worse in other places than here, but we're not used to this cold weather.
No. And I'm not right. He was right. You know, it's crazy. Anyway, let's get to this weekend. Sunday's game against Texas, very hard-fought, tough, defensive battle, a game decided in the margins, things like free throws. You mentioned inbound plays, but I want to start here. Now that you've had time to digest the film, what were your big takeaways about what happened to create that result?
Well, I haven't digested it yet.
Okay.
Digesting it is you've moved on. I haven't moved on yet. We were off yesterday, so today we'll get in the film room, and honestly, we won't even talk about Georgia.
Okay.
We will talk about Texas. I will go probably watch the entire thing, and I will make kids be accountable. Listen, we played our asses off. We played so hard defensively. Everybody thought it would be such a mismatch in the paint because they have the bulk and the bigs. Our paint people did their job. Samaya had one of her best games. She blocked shots. She rebounded, and it showed in the end. The stats were even in rebounding. What lost the game, and it's just we're not good enough yet when we need your toughest in tough situations to be disciplined. And I don't say you have to make outstanding plays. Just do what you need to do to win a ball game. Whether that is get a ball in on an inbounds play. That happened 2 or 3 times. That's a turnover. Defensively, go over scout reports, no personnel. Do you have to fight over a pick? Can you go under? Help, communicate. And it's not talent. It's not talent. I said this after the South Carolina loss. That was basically a 6-point loss that ended up being 10. The Texas game was basically a one-possession game. We ended up having a foul, and they ended up winning by 7. But you got a 12-point lead with about 4:50 to go in the third quarter. And what happened? And I just need each of them to see what they could have done individually, which would have made it so much easier collectively. And you just got to do it. It's those tough film sessions. It's those hard-nosed truths that got to be told. And put on your big girl panties today and deal with it.
So, actually, Coach, that's exactly where I wanted to go next was, if you don't mind, if you could kind of take us into the film room a little bit on a day like today. I'm assuming you watch as a team, and what is the kind of what is your delivery when somebody needs to improve on something? How do you message that in that room?
I think the delivery is not always the same. Some games I don't go back after losses because we have to get ready for a huge game coming up. We play Georgia. Georgia's 2-10. That doesn't mean we're going to, ignore them. We'll do our scouting report. But right now, correcting why we're not good enough in these tough moments is more important to me than going and start talking about Georgia and just forget about holding them accountable. Will the tone in that room be calm? Will the tone be intense and hard? I don't plan that. I think as we sit there and you watch it, I don't know what the tone will be, because if you plan something, it's fake. If you speak from your heart in that moment, regardless if it's loud, if it's soft, if it's tears, I can't plan that. All I know is it's got to be done, and you just look at the 2 losses. You could have won those games. I'm going to particularly say the Texas game. We handed that game to them, and that's not to take away from what they did to win it. I always say, you got to be tough. You got to be tough in the toughest of situations, and we weren't tough.
Coach, in the moment when you're having those film sessions, and I've always wondered this, just being a player, can you tell like who is taking exactly how you want them to take it? Can you tell like who maybe still needs some more coaching, and you still need to go over the situation? Like in that moment, can you kind of tell who it's hitting home with?
Well, I think what we do is we learn about our individual players through the course of the year. So we probably already know who's pointing the finger and blaming others. We probably already know that this kid is soft. We probably already know this kid is still pissed off because she let her team down. We all probably already know that, you kind of know their personalities, but you can't change the entire complexion of a locker room because one kid might get her feelings hurt. That's what I said. Put on your big girl panties and own it.
Yeah.
I'm going to protect these kids. Always will. I never throw kids under the bus like a lot of coaches do, but I'm going to challenge them, and I want you to listen to this. Gino and them go to Tennessee a week ago. That's UConn.
Yep.
And they get beat by Tennessee. And he ripped one of his players that's the best player in the country, going to win all the awards, going to be the number 1 draft pick. Rips her in the press conference without calling her name. Everybody knew what he was saying.
Yeah.
Comes back, and a week later, he beats South Carolina at South Carolina, the first time they'd been beaten in 70-something games there, by 29 points.
Crazy.
So here's a coach that rips kids, and they must have she must have responded. I wonder, and that's the question of my kids, I wonder if I threw some of you guys under the bus, if that would generate any difference in, corrections on what mistakes you continue to make. I don't know. I don't plan to do that, but I'm trying to make them understand it's time to get your attention. And the bench will get your attention for sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But, we're 25, 26 and 2. The sky's not falling. I'd rather you beat me 30 than have a chance to win and we didn't make the plays and do what we needed to do to win.
Yeah, like you said, I know. I mean, the up 12 in the third quarter, basically in the third, that's a tough pill to swallow. But it seems like toughness seems to be the theme this week, both like toughness in the moment, the toughness to take the criticism, and then the toughness to respond to the adversity. I feel like on this team, you have a lot of alphas. So I don't know, Coach. I have to imagine that when you challenge their toughness, that's going to, I feel like that would resonate with them, incite something in them to try to go out there and be even harder.
Well, it's not, I'm going to say, it's not about playing hard. And I think sometimes people get that confused.
Okay.
Playing hard, you can play as hard as you want to play, and sometimes it doesn't, you just get beat by a better team. And I'm talking about identifying and showing them the moment in the game when we needed you to defend that screen or we needed you to run the floor hard right there. That is just pure tough. That's pure being in shape. That's pure being digging a little deeper. I went to the press conference and I owned that loss.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing I'll tell them is, should I have owned it? Should I have owned that loss by saying I should have played my bench more? I don't know, but that's what I do. I think about what I could have done better as a coach, what I could have done in the middle of the game to help us win. I'll tell you how I raised my kids. I remember when Kramer played for Paul Maneri. You go find it. Y'all probably have it on in your archives. And they were going through a tough stretch. They were getting beat midweek by in-state schools, which happens a lot in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
They'll throw their number one pitcher, and LSU will, start other people, saving their best pitchers for the weekend. And I'll never forget it. Kramer was the captain, leader, or whatever his senior year, and he wasn't playing very well. He wasn't hitting the ball. He wasn't doing what he needed to do. And he got before every camera. I'll never forget it. And he would say, y'all need to stay off of Maneri. This is on me. until I play better, we're not going to be good. And I'm thinking to myself, you don't see kids do that anymore. You don't see kids own it. But you see, I'm old school, and that's the way I raise my kids. A coach can't pass, shoot, or dribble for you. They can't throw it. They can't bat for you. And but I'm going to own it. I'm going to own that to take the heat off of those kids. But that was a tough pill to swallow Sunday afternoon.
Well, I don't know. I mean, you're one of the most highest competitive drives of any human being that I think anybody's ever encountered. Coach, today seems like a good day to resurface the just one possession poem.
You're thinking like a coach. I was laying in bed this morning before getting up, and I said, well, I don't have to give that sheet out. What I'll do is tell them to go get their notebooks and make them read it again, because it was just one possession. It literally was a one-possession game. And I'll ask each of them, if it was a one-possession game, what could you have done? But that's part of coaching, and I'm giving y'all just little insights on how you handle things in the locker room, how you handle a team. We've got 4 very tough games remaining.
Yeah.
Of course, Georgia's not one of the tougher ones, but you got to go to Kentucky. We've got to go to Alabama, both ranked, and then you got to finish up at home against a tough Ole Miss team that has beaten ranked teams of late. So it's not going to be easy. You want to finish 3rd, 4th in this league. You're not going to be able to win it now. Probably end in a tie, so they'll flip a coin probably about at the end to see who's going to get the 1 seed in the conference tournament, and then you get ready for the postseason after the conference tournament. So I'm not down. I'm just very, I'm very focused and intense right now to get their attention and make all of them hold themselves accountable.
Coach, and we cannot thank you enough for the insight that you give us every single week here on the program. I mean, it's crazy. These are lessons that don't just apply to basketball. I feel like they apply to like everyday life and how you we can all go about conducting ourselves. So tough loss on Sunday, Coach. Kick ass this Thursday night in the PMAC. Again, really tough stretch down these Final 4 for this LSU women's basketball team. Thank you so much, Coach.
Hey, guys, you're welcome. Take care.